Eva has extensive experience in marketing, project management in the FMCG sector. But then starting in 2007, she embarked on a very exciting project where she decided to set up her own beauty company, actually, with her husband and a partner. And she completely retrained herself with different degrees in phytotherapy and human nutrition. To, sorry. Yes, human nutrition, and so to make sure that she actually had all of the technical background to work directly on the formulation of her own products for her own brand. So the brand, which is called Eva J Natural Luxury Cosmetics, just launched earlier this year in 2012 in Switzerland, and it's already in some of the most luxurious hotels in Switzerland, and it's also rolling out internationally. So today Eva is going to actually take us on a tour of the hottest trends in packaging in the beauty industry, and she's also going to share some of her experience and some tips on how to create win-win situations with suppliers.
Well, thank you very much.
In welcoming Eva.
Well, thanks. Wow. As I'm the last speaker before the lunch, I will try to be constructive. All that you said is right, and plus there is one more thing. I would say the cosmetics that we're talking about now, Eva J Natural Luxury Cosmetics, it is everything about the face. So this is something important that I have to say. These are the cosmetics about the face, for women, and these are also the cosmetics for professionals working in professional salons, hotels, spas, those destinations hotels that you are maybe going to visit shortly, and maybe definitely in Switzerland, you'll find this name.
All different colors,
share something with you.
Wear different clothes, we speak differently. From different zip codes,
you're just being
we're short, we're
why
tall,
don't you
we're fat, we're thin,
what packaging
we're square pegs in round holes,
just launching
just
what
trying
it means.
to fit
What you
in.
get when you say, oh, can I please have some samples? I want to create natural
Everyone
cosmetics.
is
Great,
different.
luxurious natural cosmetics.
It's
And
really
that's what you get.
no big
Can
thing.
share that between you, please?
It's the differences between us that make life interesting. Those little quirks that make us work are heaven sent. So give a little thanks that we're all different.
That's it, yes. We're all different. That's very true. I was given quite a different and difficult, I would say quite a difficult task today to cover very serious subjects. I looked at them and I thought, well, that definitely requires a lot of input and effort. And then I looked at the attendees of the conference today, and I thought I'm definitely going to be amongst professionals in the business, and I'm quite new to the whole game. So I decided that I would be talking to you today from quite a personal perspective and from quite a, let's say, general perspective. From the point of view of a niche company, of a startup company. And as I know some of you are working in the packaging, and I see the smiles on your faces already. It speaks a lot. Let's see what, in my perspective, is so important when a cosmetic company meets a packaging company or a designer. I think the most important thing is to be able to listen, to understand, to talk, to discuss a lot. Very, very difficult is to share the vision and be creative. I can tell you that in my personal experience, it took me 5 years before the first products saw the light of the day. 5 years for studying and for rigorous testing. I opened my own spa in Lausanne, where I myself was doing, together with the collaborators, I was doing all the treatments. So we were testing the products and we were testing the treatments, and I teamed with pharmaceutical professionals who helped me to understand more about the formulations, of course, and of course who helped me to understand more about skin and about health, about let's say medicine in general. So there was a lot of this scientific work going on, and with all of this scientific work going on, I was a little bit lost, and I would say, frankly speaking, packaging was in the back of my mind. That was kind of the last thing for me when I was thinking about the products to come. And then I did kind of the pilot launch in 2008 with, I think, 3 or 4 products, which were, in fact, absolutely fantastic, natural, facial products. And we did it in Lausanne, in Switzerland. And amongst very close friends, when we started discussing, they told me, no one has any doubt that what you put inside it's truly fantastic, because in truth, very few people expect real effectiveness from natural products. We look at cosmetics from the point of view they should be effective, they should be high performing, but there are very few of us who would be thinking that really natural cosmetics could be so highly performing. So the friends told me they are great, but frankly, they're not that attractive. And that was exactly the advice that I needed at the time. They were not. They had quite ugly packaging, I would say straightforward ugly, and they had this thick texture. Well, yes, they were free of parabens, they were free of conservants, and they smelled like a toilet that hadn't been cleansed for maybe 5 days. A good lesson that was learned by me in more or less, I think, around 2008. And then I still had this very clear vision of what I want to create. And I wanted to create extremely effective natural cosmetics that would be extremely effective to treat various skin problems such as acne, rosacea, irritability, dermatitis, but also would be a great solution to maintain the youth of the skin for any age, generally for women. At this moment of time, I came to the idea, however, I need to improve lots of things, including the packaging. So I spoke again with some of the friends who used to work with big packaging companies, who told me, don't even approach them, you just don't have a budget. True. So I was again recommended, I was lucky to have been recommended a lady who was a very talented designer. She was Korean by origin, worked in Geneva. So we met, and she gave me a very hard time. She really made me sweat. I would say with the packaging, I had the most difficult time amongst everything that took me to create this range that I'm having today. Packaging was my worst nightmare for many, many, many reasons. And one of the reasons that if you're really aspiring and if you want to create something extremely competitive, and that would include the word luxury, you're into a very serious ball game, and you're in for a very serious competition. So, again, it was maybe just a range of lucky events that brought me to work with passionate and very creative and very talented individuals. And all of it together helped us to finally launch the products. But I do not want to talk too much about my product range. I want to share with you the feeling of a company that is in the process of creating the new range. We are talking about cosmetic packaging, the trends as we know them. And first of all, we are talking about anti-aging, because this is the big word. If we are talking about the trends in cosmetics and in packaging, we can't pass by this word, anti-aging. This is a big, important word now. So what is anti-aging? It is cellular cosmetics, it is stem implants, it is genetic-based cosmetics, it is pro-hormone, it is all sorts of medicinal implication cosmetics. It is Dr. Obagi, I don't know how many of you know this, very specific, very popular medicinal cosmetics, widely used in medical clinics to really renew the skin, and etc., and etc., and etc. And we're also talking about cosmetics for specific groups. We're talking about cosmetics for teenagers, these ones, for example, pregnant women. These are not for children, just like one of the examples, but, well, it is a huge world. We all know that. And in terms of the packaging, you can see for yourselves how much effort there has been put into the creating of this, let's say, differentiated packaging. I specifically brought this slide for your attention today. This is let's say, pretty new, fresh. These are the two brands that have been launched together with my brand at the last Paris show in Beyond Beauty in September. And these two brands have a very clear differentiation for let's say, specific groups or age groups or specific customer groups. And they were very well accepted, generally in Europe and in Paris as well. And I believe so, that packaging plays a huge role here. I think chapeau to the companies that worked for these companies. They created a very distinctive packaging, which really won a lot of attention from the retailers. Then we are talking about another subject in cosmetics, the biocosmetics, or the safe cosmetics care with spare. And I dared to put a lot of Eva J. Well, this is not for the retail, this is not for the supermarkets. These, as they were nicknamed, blueberry bottles, are for the hotels and salons. These are the professional range. How much of what we, the cosmetic companies, or the creators, let's say, of the formulations of the cosmetics, is reflected in the packaging? I think a lot. If we're speaking about the cosmetics which are safe, which have the medicinal implications, which can cure the skin, which can give quite a serious treatment to the skin, not only the packaging needs to be, let's say, different, but it also should be very safe, and I believe the packaging also should be able to help products live a happy life. So talking about the high effective natural cosmetics, we are obliged to be talking about cosmetics which has relevant packaging, meaning, for example, pharmaceutical quality glass, or the airless packaging, or the new tubes that I think I brought one of them with me. I was quite fascinated. The new and newer, more and more innovations that help this particular type of cosmetics, if you wish, biocosmetics, be living longer life and preserve all the ingredients in their virgin state. Yes, packaging as a part of the trend. I think packaging and cosmetics and the trends are absolutely inseparable. What I learned hard way is definitely that for any cosmetic company, packaging is an extremely important constituent. And not only it should have very clear communication messages and be different, it should also be safe, as I've said, and the safety should mean non-toxic, absence of metal, UV protection, best conservation of active ingredients, environmentally friendly, social responsible, and ergonomical. Well, yes, consumers nowadays, they look at how much product they squeeze out, and if this is an expensive product, they're quite interested to see if they do not overuse it. So they are quite conscious about the packaging and the usage versus the amount of money that they have spent on their packaging. Hot trend, airless packaging. I'm talking a lot about it because to me it was very important. To me, when I was looking for the packaging for my retail range, I could only find one solution, which was airless, because unfortunately, having spent 5 years onto the formulations and knowing the effectiveness, knowing the effects, it would be absolutely a shame for me to lose that effect if the packaging would not allow the best conservation of all the ingredients. So to me, airless packaging was very important, and definitely I'm not alone. Filorga, which is quite well-known French brand, I'm sure that you're familiar with that. It's been using it for years, and many other companies too. Why? I have personally also respect for airless, because it does allow the introduction of significant number of innovative formula. Those packaging companies that worked on the airless packaging, I think they allowed a very significant growth of cosmetics innovations in the industry, and big thank you to them. Definitely preserves efficacy and protects against degrading, improves storage life, improves product consumption with exact doses. That's what I've been talking about before. And there is just one but. And this one but I learned while speaking with some of the key retailers and shops in Europe and in Switzerland. They told me, well, I just had a funny conversation just recently. They asked me, so how do you define luxury? And I was saying this, A, B, C, D, E, F. I said, no. You know what luxury is for a consumer? She comes to the shop. She needs to have some kind of golden pot with a golden spoon in it. And just, she opens it up. And the more gold and the more kind of sparkles, the more luxury it is. So it's not your brand. Quite a slap on the face. But another conversation, and another. And what I'm discovering, and that despite of all the benefits of the airless packaging that it's offering, consumers are coming back to that personal feeling, to the touch. Where is my pot? I want to open it. I want to touch it. I want to feel the product. I want to feel the texture instead of squeezing, squirting these exact doses. So pots are back. So how is that on earth? Am I going to have my natural bio products in these pots, which oxidizes straight away after I open it? Like how I'm going to use my pure vitamin C mask with the pure vitamin C in a pot. No chance for me. So with some products, I still have to continue looking for partnership with the cosmetic companies packaging companies that can offer me more innovative products. And in fact, just recently, I want to share with you, I think I have it with me. This one, I loved it. Another tube, you mentioned and you just commented today. I think with Simon it was that why he chose tubes. I love tubes personally. I think they're great. This is another tube, but this is the airless tube. So inside there is a pouch, and you squeeze it, and it doesn't suck in back oxygen. No, it's absolutely free of oxygen. So probably Simon also for you to look at. Absolutely fantastic. So I must say a big thank you to the packaging companies. I think they constant search for innovations which helps us a lot to develop quality products. A good kind of almost like a real case study. If I need to create the packaging for the acne treatment, what my packaging should be? Think about acne. Who likes acne? No one. It's already ugly. If you come to a dermatologist or if you come to a beauty salon, you never expect pleasure from being treated against acne. So if on top you have this packaging which reminds you of your problem, well, not a lot of pleasure in our life. So we are trying to create the packaging that would also give you pleasure and satisfaction. Not only it should be effective, but it should also bring pleasure to me. The word pleasure is very, very important because finally it is our own confidence in our looks, in our beings, which matters when you talk about cosmetics. If you would imagine a brief, I have 50 active ingredients, 50 vitamins. Well, I'm not talking about myself. I just decided to generalize a little bit. What would a cosmetic company ask for from a packaging supplier? With fruit acids, and I claim organic and antioxidant and anti-allergenic, and my packaging should be safe, but not too heavy. But no, I don't like polymers. It should be bright, but not too many colors. And it should have like 3-4 languages on the face of it. And I want to be ergonomical and I want to be nature friendly. So the list of the insertions, the list of the paper packaging is possible. And my budget is very small. Talking about my personal products, it's exactly what I want to have. I want to have a tiny bottle of Evogel oil serum to create a feeling of being very personal, entirely yours and a secret possession. Just a drop of oil to take you to your dream world. But when I talk with the packaging suppliers, there's very, very little space for maneuver. Because mostly they also look for profits, volume driven, no matching of customer vision, and almost like disregarding that niche brands in their own right, they become a very powerful trend. So I would say, is that true, or is it hopefully changing as I see that the packaging supplies continue still the big boys, service only? Imagine a startup company talking about something like 50 SKUs. That's already a very good start. But many do start with this range, 50 SKUs. And you start talking with the packaging suppliers about buying the packaging, about doing silk screening or hot stamping. And what volumes are you talking about? No one is even discussing anything less than 5,000 per SKU. You're lucky if they discuss with you 5,000, but generally they start with 10,000. Foil samples, those 1.5 milliliter or 2 milliliter samples that you receive in drugstores and shops. No one talks to you unless you are talking about 10,000 per SKU. So this is a volume-driven industry. But fortunately, it is changing. And it is changing, I would say, more so over in Asia. So don't be surprised that European packaging supplies are meeting a fierce competition from Asia, because Asian supplies are very competitive. It's a kind of a personal example. In the very beginning of the road, I spoke with each and every famous European supplier, and I just simply could not afford anything of these numbers for myself. And finally, I found a flexible company in Korea. Great quality, great packaging, flexible enough after quite long negotiations to meet my demand. And today I feel a little bit like, this pretty woman when she came back to the shop after they had refused to her and saying, are you on the commission now? So it's a bit this feeling that I'm having now. And I think it's both, it's definitely a two-way road. Of course, everyone needs to listen and to understand each other. And sometimes the cosmetic companies or those who are working directly with the formulas and creating the creams, they probably underestimate the efforts that the packaging companies, packaging suppliers put into the packaging. I do not, because I think I did a lot of research. I met with a lot of packaging companies and packaging suppliers. And because everything took me a long time, as you have heard, 5 years, right? I only launched this year. But it was also a good time because it allowed me to learn a lot about the industry. And personally, I have huge respect for the packaging supplies. I think packaging definitely allowed a lot of innovation in cosmetic industry. So I wish it just continues. If we talk about the luxury packaging, I would not be probably even talking a lot today about that, because they will always maintain their way of positioning, their communication, their brand image. I think for all of us who do not claim really the top of the range, we have to adapt, we have to avoid, we have to ameliorate all the time, we have to change all the time, absorb and acquire. I think the constant evolution and change is required from both parties. Finally, what does a consumer want? She wants a cream. She wants a cream. And all that I want, that she finds my cream and remains loyal to my cream and believes that it is the cream. And personalized packaging, that's what makes a consumer think that it was created for her. Well, thank you very much.
Do you still have time for a Q&A? Maybe we take one or two questions, if there are any questions in the audience. Scary. Well, thank you very much for sharing your story and your challenges in setting up your brand and then going through all of these packaging challenges. I think it's quite eye-opening to hear about that. So thank you very much, Eva.
Thank you.
So I think now it's about lunchtime, Irina or Lisanne? Yes, okay. Is lunch on this floor or?